Attorney General William Barr publicly broke from the president on Tuesday, saying there has been no evidence of widespread voter fraud in the 2020 election. In an interview with the Associated Press, Barr said, quote, "To date, we have not seen fraud on a scale that would have affected a different outcome in the election." The Attorney General's comments come as President Trump continues to repeat baseless claims of widespread voter fraud. The Trump campaign has filed multiple lawsuits in key battleground states in an effort to overturn the election results, but the majority of them have been thrown out due to a lack of evidence. For more on all of this, I want to bring in Michael Balsamo. He is a Justice Department reporter for the Associated Press, and he conducted that news-making interview with the Attorney General. Michael, welcome. Thanks very much for joining us. You know, when you broke this story, it landed with this seismic shock in Washington and beyond. Explain what makes these comments coming from Attorney General Barr so significant, because in some ways it's not just the message, but the messenger.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The Attorney General obviously has been, one of the most ardent supporters of President Trump. He's been in lockstep on a majority of policies with the president. But the Attorney General made very clear yesterday that the Justice Department has looked into claims being made to U.S. attorneys and to the FBI across the country. And the Justice Department has just found no evidence of widespread fraud that would change the outcome of the election.
Well, has there been any response from President Trump or his legal team?
We haven't heard directly from the president or from senior White House officials, but the president's legal team, or Rudy Giuliani and Jenna Ellis, did release a statement yesterday, basically saying that with respect to the attorney, with great respect that they have for the Attorney General, they just disagree. They claim that they have evidence of fraud, although, that seems to have been dismissed in a number of lawsuits that the Trump campaign and Republicans have brought in a number of states.
Well, Barr is not the first person to dispute President Trump's claims of fraud. Last month, Chris Krebs, the former top cybersecurity official, called the election the most secure in American history. Now, he was later fired by Mr. Trump, who called his comments inaccurate. Could we see a similar fate for the Attorney General?
The president certainly has come out very strong against people who have undercut his claims, but we've seen time and time again that Attorney General Barr just holds a different position in this administration.
And I'm just curious as well, Michael, when the Attorney General made those comments to you, was there a sense that he was attempting to sort of hedge or very cautiously word his statement, given what we have seen from the president with respect to Georgia officials, for instance, attacking Republican Georgia election officials? Did there appear to be a sense that he knew he was straying into perhaps politically dangerous territory?
Having covered the Attorney General since, before he was confirmed, he's very direct in what he says. I think that he came out yesterday with exactly what the Justice Department found. He was clear that investigators had looked into these claims, including ones made by, the Trump legal team, and they have just found no evidence based on that of widespread voter fraud that would, change the outcome of the election. The Attorney General was also clear on another point, that he believes that there's sometimes this conflating of the federal criminal justice system and allegations that should be brought in civil lawsuits, allegations that, we've seen made in a number of states, some of those obviously being dismissed by judges or dropped by the parties there, but still those being the kind of opportunities for the possibility of fraud to exist versus, the concrete evidence that's needed to prove a federal crime or even initiate a federal investigation. That bar obviously is much higher.
Well, on another note, Attorney General Barr announced he appointed U.S. Attorney John Durham as a special counsel to investigate the origins of the Russia probe. Explain why that's being seen as a win for President Trump and his allies.
Yeah, that was obviously a very significant announcement as well. Yesterday, the Attorney General saying that he had appointed John Durham back in October, issuing this order essentially making him a special counsel under similar regulations to those used for special counsel Robert Mueller. What that basically means is that John Durham has additional protections in his investigation, and it cements him into this position in which a new administration, a Biden Justice Department, couldn't immediately remove him. And obviously that it was some of the impetus behind this. Under the special counsel regulations, there need to be very specific reasons why a special counsel can be removed, including specifically allocated allegations of misconduct or something like that. They can't just be stopped from doing their investigation. So certainly, seen as a big win by Trump's allies.
All right, Michael Balsamo of the Associated Press. Michael, no shortage of developments on your beat. Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.